good night, wonderful people of God. This is the MFC Mission for Christ. I'm here to present to you tonight no other person than Sister Donette Matthew with spiritual first aid for body, soul, and spirit. Good night, my sister. You can now go ahead. You're now live.
Good night, my dear pastor. Good
Blessing,
night to everyone who's tuning in.
blessing, my sister.
Right. Today I'm gonna touch down on sinus. But before I do that, I'm gonna quote something here, Second Kings verse 20, to say that natural medicine had always been around from the beginning of time. Obviously, we didn't have any chemist, paracetamol company up the road or anything like that in them times. So of course we had to rely on natural medicine. Um, as here, Hezekiah turned his face towards the wall and prayed unto the Lord and said, Remember now, O Lord, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. Hezekiah had a potential fatal boil, which suggests he had bubonic plague. Hezekiah was the 13th king of Judah. God said to Isaiah, Go back and tell Hezekiah, the leader of my people, this is what the Lord, the God of your father David, says. I have heard your prayers and seen your tears. I will heal you. And on the third day from now, you will go up to the temple of the Lord. I will add 15 years to your life. Second King verse 20. Hezekiah in Hebrews means God gives strength. Isaiah prepared a poultice of figs. They did so, applied it to the boil, and he recovered. That's in Second Kings. So a poultice of figs. So again, we go and touch back down on natural medication that we've always used. I remember as a little child, I left Jamaica as a very, very young age, but I still remember you having a tummy pain and mommy would give you Cersei tea and all the rest of things that go with it, cold bush and all them things we used to. We never had a pharmacist unless you were very ill and you went to your doctor and then they prescribed something for worms and they still had medicine that they would rub together and give it to you for worm medicine. We didn't run along. Everybody had to rely on medication passed down by our older generations. And that's how we lived. Same way in Africa. They don't have the money or the means or the know how in parts of Africa where they're totally remote. So, same with Australia. So, they bring the natural medication that was taught to them by the generation of our ancestors that was passed down to them, and this is what they used. And still, the Aborigines people in Australia still rely very much on natural medication. They will have a wound and they will grab two bits of bush and rub together, and next minute they're healed. So I want to touch on sinuses because I know a lot of people who suffers with this ailment and other ways that we can treat it. Of course, in everything, I will always tell you firstly to consult your doctor, but you can also help yourself with this problem as well. The common symptoms of sinus infection include 1. Runny nose, 2. Stuffy nose, 3. Facial pain or pressure, 4. Headache, 5. Mucus dripping down the throat, post-nasal drip, 6. Sore throat, 7. Cough, 8. Bad breath. Sinus infection, antibiotic use or symptoms. nasal inflammation. Second, thick, discolored discharge from the nose, runny nose. Three, drainage down the back of the throat, postnasal drainage. Four, blocked or stuffy, congested nose causing difficulty breathing through your nose. Five, pain, tenderness, and swelling around your eyes and nose or forehead. What's the fastest way people always ask to get rid of sinusitis? First, you recommend first one, get treatment and as recommended by a doctor, say a physician. Second, flush your sinuses. Three, use a medicated over-the-counter nasal spray. Four, use a humidifier. Five, use steam. Six, get plenty of rest. Seven, take vitamin D. Eight, drink lots of water. So to flush your sinuses, home remedy, using a nettle pot to flush out sinus. This method relieves the pressure and pain related to the sinus. Nettle pot use filtered water and salt substitute to flush out the nasal system. So what basically you do is like pot, kettle, whatever, and you boil this water and you can drop whatever in it that can relieve the sinuses. And as recommended, just put some salt water and make sure the water is filtered water. And then naturally you put a towel over your head and just to get that steaming effect. If you don't have a humidifier handy and cannot obtain one, turn your shower on its hottest, setting or breathing steam from a bowl of hot water. These actions just put steam into your nasal passages to help reduce inflammation and open them up. Placing a warm damp towel over your nose and eyes can also help reduce the pain associated with sinus infection, while a cool towel reduce cool towel reduce swelling. And again, we always have to touch back on the great Dr. Zeddy, which he'd always recommend um, inflammation in the body, and this inflammation is what gives us a lot of pain, including arthritis and the rest of pain that goes with that. So of course, that's why he's always recommended alkaline in the body. He started this process so long ago, and now you have everybody jumping on board, yet they try to condemn him for those procedures that he had. He wasn't a trained doctor per se, but he learned a lot from his grandmother. And as I said, how we learned in the West Indies is things that we heard from our grandparents passed down by the fourth parent of years gone by. And Dr. Zebby was one of these people, but he went on to publish several books and he helped a great deal of people worldwide. I know my own friend Caroline, she went to see him personally because she had so many different problems. So she herself went to meet up with him and she was totally very impressed by him. Another thing with the sinus is to drink water. Drinking water helps reduce the inflammation that comes with sinus. Water helps thin the mucus in your body, making it easier to remove through blowing your nose or flushing your sinus. Avoid things like soda, alcohol, caffeinated coffee, and caffeinated tea as they cause inflammation. And that's a thing that a lot of people don't realize that all these things, because I've seen several people here who suffer with sinus and they're always drinking soda and alcohol and all the things that cause inflammation through your body. So it's getting to know your body type. As I said, and I can't impress enough, that a person needs to know your body. By knowing your body, you reduces your chance of being very ill. Because if you can encounter something before it gets worse, then you're far better off, because leaving something um, doesn't help. It's not going to go away by leaving it. It will only get worse. And another thing with our people is that I find is that they hide a lot of illnesses, and you didn't bring illness on yourself. It's something that happened. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Many people diagnosed with various illness and they hide it from everybody. And it's don't tell anybody. But it's something that you have to know, because you could be the only one around or somebody else when they become ill. And of course, by knowing what's wrong with them, you're able to help them. And that's why people who are very ill with certain conditions are given a medical card, and they're supposed to carry that around on their person. So if they become ill in the street, collapse or anything, you can look, find that card and knowing what the problem is. Because you can go about treating something that's not there. Because what I find medically is that a lot of illnesses mimic another illness. So you can have one thing and you think it's something else, but in fact, it's not. So it's good to have that medical card. It saves lives, because if you collapse, somebody see that, they know what they're treating, instead of panicking to think, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing here? Get plenty of rest. It will help your body heal more easily. Try to elevate your head to help your sinuses drain and increase your ability to sleep. But rest is critical for recovery. Just like even with the COVID, a lot of people who were very ill, what they did do was put them on induced coma to shut the body down, because the body was overworking and internal organs was, reduced to pulp. So at that time, they make a decision to put you in an induced coma, because the rest is also good for your body. So just like anything else, any illnesses that you have, it's always essential to try and get as much sleep as you possibly can, because healing is better when your body is rested. Increase your vitamin C intake. This will help boost your immune system. Again, there's a lot of things that we can use to boost the immune system, but vitamin C is absolutely essential. And as I said, a lot of things that we can use locally, we don't have to go out paying a lot of money for it. Just get oranges, squeeze your orange. You don't have to keep buying these things that's in the tin, or drinks that's, of course, is bottled and it's gone through so much process. So at the end of the day, you're not getting any goodness out of it. You're getting something that's been mixed up and contaminated with various preservative. So if you can get the orange yourself, squeeze that, squeeze 3, 4 orange, then you don't have to do it every morning. Put that in the fridge and have that to drink. And that's a sort of vitamin C. There is so many things that we have here in Jamaica, very much watercress. Watercress is really good. And if you can get that watercress, to have that in your diet is very useful. Eucalyptus oil or peppermint essential oils, both good for sinus, apply to the bridge of the nose. Eucalyptus has been shown to have anti-inflammatory and antiseptic and decongestion property, and is traditionally used to treat asthma, nasal congestion, runny nose, cough, sore throat, and sinusitis. The sinus infection, medically known as sinusitis or rhinosinusitis, occurs when your nasal cavities become infected, swollen, and inflamed. Fluid built up in the sinuses can cause germs to grow, leading to a sinus infection. Sinusitis is usually caused by a virus and often lasts even after other upper respiratory symptoms are gone. There are 4 types of sinus infection: Acute sinusitis. This type lasts only for a short time. Subacute sinusitis lasts 4 to 12 weeks. Recurrent acute sinusitis and acute sinus infection is considered reoccurring if infection returns for more times within a year. Each infection lasting for more than 12 weeks. So you know now that there's 4 different types to identify the type that you have here. Inflammation and swelling can cause your sinuses to ache with dull pressure. This is become inflamed. Inflammation is there. The typical pulse of mucus from the nose to the back of the throat, your forehead, and either side of your nose, or your upper jaw and teeth between your eyes. So we can see, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of things in your body that this sinus can affect. It can end up giving you toothache, nose, upper jaw problems, so you get the pain along these areas, which of course is very, very painful. So most people with the sinuses will always either sit there like this because they're having pain in these areas, or sit there rubbing these areas, and of course the headaches, the blinding headaches, and you can hear them sniffing up all the time because of these infections across these areas. So the sinuses go from these areas along here, and these parts are actually blocked up. We call decongestion. So those are the things that you can do, the natural remedies. Again, we can go back to the mango leaves. The mango leaves have a lot of inflammatory proportions inside. So, of course, you go back to your mango leaves and you can boil the leaves, cool it down, and drink this. This is very good for inflammation. And inflammation is a problem, and it is a problem that Dr. Zeddy had noticed, and he many times mentioned. And believe me, it's very, very, very painful because all of last week I had inflammation across from my neck going down to all my shoulder. If I needed to turn, I had to turn my whole body. And it's not a joke, the pain was dreadful. I had to end up going because most time I will take something, and if that doesn't work, then I know the next port of call is the doctor, which I went there and I had to have tests done, an X-ray, and of course it is what I knew it was, inflammations along those areas, and it was so painful that I had to be on some really powerful painkillers. So most of the time, believe me, I was sleeping. All I wanted to do was just sleep it off, which was good. But my neck, the pain that was really dreadful, it radiated all down those areas and all over my shoulder. I couldn't move. It was dreadful. To get out of bed, I had to turn one way just to get out that bed. The pain was that much. At least one stage I was just crying because I just wanted to get rid of this pain. That's how it is. And it's the same with arthritis because it is a form of arthritis. Inflammation build up in your knees and in your ankles, all your shoulder, all the various parts. And again, very painful. So we have to be mindful of the thing that we consume. Changing your diet can help. Going on to an alkaline diet is a very helpful way of changing your diet. I believe I've gone over the menus for alkaline in your body before now. And but if anyone ever need me to run over those things that you can use to alkaline the body, please give me a call and I will go over that with you. But for now, unfortunately, I've got a sister, as Pastor knows that unfortunately she's got leukemia, and we're just taking turns in looking after her. So I have to go across the road now to go and sit with her through the night. As today she had started her chemo last week, And all these days I've been saying, "Are you okay? You okay?" And she said, "Yes." And even yesterday, my other sister was saying that, yes, she's fine. She said she's fine. And I know that there would be an effect sooner or later. And now it's there. The doctor is just saying that her body is trying to adjust itself to the chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is something like a form of radiation in itself. And what it doesn't know the good cells, cannot identify good or bad cells. So obviously, when you get chemotherapy, it destroys all your cells. So hence, she was having all these pains. And as she had had a stroke before, my sister, when she was crippled up with the pain on her chest, she thought, "Oh my God, she's going to have another stroke." But thankfully, she had taken her down to the hospital. So, yeah, so as I have that to do, I'm going to cut short and say, good night, everybody. God bless. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Pastor, for this wonderful platform of us trying to reach people just to let them know how they can help themselves and what the next port of call should be. And I hope you all try to listen, try to learn something, and try to do something about something before something happens. Okay, good night and God bless.